general, creativity with horses and with my life means change, being open to change and being open to new things. Because in my life, and this is one of the main lessons I get from horses, that there is always change coming. And I realized that when I'm close to the change and I want to keep things the way they are, I'm also blocking my creativity. And I had such moments in my life when I felt like I'm losing my passion. For example, I stopped making pictures for a year, and I felt like I'm losing the passion and I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. I can't move forward. And then I realized it's because I don't want to accept something new is coming to my life. And then I started to make pictures again, and I started to make films. And so creativity for me in general is being open to the new things that are coming. Absolutely agree with that. I had such difficult moments 2 times in my life. And for the 3rd time when it happened, I had the experience from the previous moments that what I need to do is just let it happen and open to what needs to come, what needs to happen. And this dark moment, which seems dark, like exactly what you say, like being stuck, it's exactly incubating new ideas that just need this moment. The old things must die also for the new things to reappear. And the other thing I find in creativity is also being able to see things the way they are, not the way I want them to be, or not the way I'm used that they are, but to see the reality the way it is. And then I see thousands of possibilities that I can choose from. And then I feel the excitement of creativity. Sometimes I am creative personality, and sometimes I feel like I'm this other kind of personality. I think one person can be both in different times of their life. What I meant by being open is not necessarily being open to the ideas of others, but being open what happens to me, what I experience. Because in my work with horses, when I look back at that, I realized that those moments that were the most creative were the moments when I felt like I need to do something completely different from what I'm taught, for example, and I need to do something my way. And very often I decided, no, this is wrong, because people tell me it's wrong, trainers tell me it's wrong, and the world tell me it's wrong. But I had this feeling. But those times when I followed this kind of an intuition, it was always kind of a development for me. I learned from those moments, and I felt this thrill of being creative. I was born in a family of riders, and I was born around people who rode horses. My parents had horses, and I thought everybody has horses when I was a child. So I didn't even have one moment when I was a young person to be able to think of a horse the way I see it. I was always taught how to be with a horse, how to make the horse do different things, what horses like, what horses don't like, how horses should behave. And I obeyed all those rules. At some moment, I felt that something's wrong. This was such a strange feeling of something not quite right for me, that I felt like I'm not happy with. So at first I thought I want to have my own horses. I want to move to the countryside. I want to start my own business with horses. And finally I managed to do that. And a few years passed and I realized I'm still frustrated and I'm still not happy and I still feel somehow stuck in it. And there was again this feeling that I need to change something and I need to do something different. So I started a search. And with this search, I realized there are other people who are also searching, like me, different ways of being with horses. And this encouraged me to trust my my feelings, my own feelings. And I realized that what I want with horses is not using them for riding. I want connection. And at first I thought I would have this wonderful connection from the saddle. And then I realized I want a deeper connection and that I can't have this connection from riding horses. So I started experimenting with different also different paths on the ground. And it was a long process. And at some moment it felt really right and really beautiful. And I felt very creative. But then again, after a few years, there was a moment when I realized that there is something more that I feel there is. And this is the moment when I realized that the emotional connection, mental connection I have with horses is really healing my soul. And then again, there was another shift that I started to perceive horses in a different way as healers. There was a moment when I got involved into horse-assisted psychotherapy sessions with a friend who was a psychologist. And I started to perceive horses as healers and as animals who help me and other people on the emotional path. And then again, there was a moment when I felt this being not really satisfied, that something new needs to happen. And it was again this incubation moment of feeling that something new needs to happen, that I'm not really happy with what's happening. And then I realized that what I feel for me now, what horses bring for me, is being closer to such very, very simple ways of being in life, just being. This is what I get from horses. So again, I had this moment of incubation, and then I realized that I want to change. I want to create a space for people to experience what I experience, being in the space with the horses, with other animals, with nature, and experience just being, and being happy with the very simple things in life. So there is also another kind of a change in my ways of seeing my life with horses. I also had the external and internal pressures, because I also felt like, oh my God, maybe I'm crazy, or maybe I'm doing crazy things, or maybe they are right and I am wrong. So I had all those moments of not being sure, and finding like-minded people on my way was also very helpful, because I felt like, oh, okay, there are other people who think this way. So yes, I think it wasn't, on many levels it was very easy, because I felt like I'm free. I'm creating something, and it's wonderful. And on some levels it was more difficult, maybe because it was so different from what I've. And photography was also a way for me to spend more time with them. I was just walking the fields for hours. And right now, I think I also, because I'm such a usually nervous person, I needed this, I needed photography to allow me to spend more time with horses, because I had this excuse for myself that, okay, I'm making pictures, so I can spend more time with them because I'm at work somehow. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that those pictures really show what I see. I mean, they show the spirit of the horse, and they show the spirit of connection and the beauty of connection between horses and humans, because many people come to this place and they have beautiful interactions with horses. So it gave me such a thrill to learn a bit more, buy a new camera, and make more pictures. So it was a very, very, very also long process, and also made me, I think, maybe more connected to the horses through the lenses somehow.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's like, as you are describing that, it kind of makes me feel the power of what you're experiencing. And it is all about connections and feeling and just being alert to the beauty. You know, sometimes without the camera, we might miss the beauty that's all around us, and then we suddenly kind of like have a focus on it, and we just see things that we wouldn't otherwise have seen.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's true. And also I realized at some moment that I started to make films recently. It's just a very, very, very new project that I wanted to incorporate more movement into the pictures, which is actually making films. Because there are moments when I took like, I don't know, 20 pictures of one situation, and each of them was very important. So I realized it would be also great to have such short pictures of showing what's happening. I was for a long time very focused on the interactions between horses. It was very interesting. It still is very interesting because my herd lives in a big space, and they started to form some very strong family bonds. They started to form family groups, and it was very interesting to see how they form those groups, how they interact in those groups. And it was great through photography, but now I find it's even more intense when I show it through films. You know, for me, such a beautiful story about creativity was, it happened a year ago. It was a story about a little girl. Her name was Kaya, and her father bought her a horse, an old Arabian mare. And he had his own horse, and he wanted to have such trail rides to the forest from time to time with his daughter. And this Arabian mare was said to be difficult horse by trainers. And the parents were afraid it's too difficult horse for a child. And because of the girl, they live close to the forest, and the horses live with them. At some moment, they realized that she has a very good connection with animals, and she was like 9 years old at that time. Mm-hmm. And they were wise people, and they allowed her because all the trainers failed with the horse, and they said, okay, maybe she wouldn't be able to ride the horse, maybe it will be a kind of a failure. But they allowed the girl to do what she thinks is right to do. And when I asked them what she does with the horse, they said, we just don't know. She goes out with the horse and she's allowed to do what she wants. And I talked to this girl on the phone, so I didn't really help her in any way because I was ill at that time. So we were talking on the phone. And she developed amazing relationship with the horse. Absolutely beautiful, amazing relationship. Mm-hmm. When I asked her how she did that, mm-hmm. said, I just come out and see what's happening today. And I just do it, what needs to happen today. And I thought it's such envy that, because I was born in the family of riders, I never had the child's curiosity because everything was given to me. And horses were given to me, saddled up, and I just could sit on them and ride. And this girl showed me that being completely open to situation and she tried many different things she was focused on the process of being with the horse and showing the horse that she's friendly and that she loves the horse. And I realized that it's a very important lesson for me to not to be afraid, to first of all, to see the possibilities and opportunities that are in every situation, and then to be able to choose one and just check it. And if it doesn't work, then choose the other one. It's not a problem. Right. So this is really helping me to when I want to create something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I am exactly in the moment when something new is emerging. Mm-hmm. So I feel like creativity is in the air. Mm-hmm. I found creativity even in such very, very small, very simple things, just being in my own life. Mm-hmm. And also a lesson from horses, because at some moment I realized that, oh my God, maybe it's boring because I don't do anything. I'm just here sharing the same space with them and being available for them whenever they want. If they don't want, then there is no connection, no contact actually. Mm-hmm. But I realized that even in such very, very small, simple things like preparing food or grazing, it could be very, very creative, and it could be very beautiful to be immersed in such very simple in life itself, just being.